What is going on, everybody? Voidlego here, back with a brand new episode of Higurashi When They Cry. Last time we were on, we learned a bit more about Tomoki and Takano. What we particularly learned is that Tomoki is not just a regular photographer, but he is a kind of military overseer for the medical project that Takano and Ire are conducting on this mysterious disease that they keep talking about, but never really specifying with Sadako. So we found that out. And we also found out that Akasaka's wife did not die in this timeline, this world. And because of that, it has driven Rika to think that this truly is the greatest shot she has ever gotten or will ever get at fighting against the fate that is set in place for her of her dying in June of 1983. How she will fight against this or what form it will take this time, we do not know. But we are prepared to fight against this. So yeah, let's just get right into it. Before the flight. That's some winner.
これが航空券だ。遅れんなよ。後の金は現地だ。
大きに大きに。おい、マミヤン。
サンキュー。私札幌って一度行ってみたかったのよね。
北条の野郎にゃ気取られてねえだろうな。
大丈夫だよ。あいつバカだもん。でかいのは声と態度だけ。
そうなのかよ。
Starting off strong with this one. The next moment, they heard several cars coming towards them. The man looked out of the window and saw three black cars screeching to a halt by the apartment building. Several intimidating men emerged from those cars. Some of them even walked up towards the window. He quickly hid himself behind the curtain.
ちくしょう、鍵つけやがった。ずらかれ。
ちょっと、嘘マジ？なんで今日バレるのよ。
マミヤン、ボケっとすな。捕まったら殺されんぞ。
They heard the men running up the stairs. They sounded angry. Alrighty then. Interesting. Okay, so when I was planning to ditch Hojo and go out, and I guess that was, oh god, what was his name? Oh my god, why am I forgetting his name at this point? I should know his name by heart. God damn it. God damn it, I fucking... There's so many names in this game. Especially with Japanese ones. Like, with American... Like, with English ones, I would probably remember it better. But, like, especially with Japanese names, it's kind of hard. But, god damn it, I'm forgetting his name right now. But fucking Shion's chaperone, or whatever. It's men. So let us continue. It was a very humid day. Not even a slight breeze was blowing. It had been an unpleasant summer, one that wasn't only hot but swimmingly so. There were various articles of clothing hung out to dry in the messy apartment windows, but the lack of wind evoked an impression far removed from coolness. In fact, it only felt more oppressive. They were crooked houses and apartments winding the narrow, twisting road. In addition, there were planters and flower plots whose contents were beginning to rot, as well as bicycles and cars on the sides of the road, making it even more cramped, more oppressive, and all the more sweltering. Nobody who was in this place at this time was visiting it voluntarily, but in spite of what everyone might expect, a single motorcycle came rolling in. The motorcycle stopped in front of a two-story apartment, one that could hardly be called neat even as flatteringly. A man, fairly old and wrinkled, stepped off. When a nearby neighbor hanging out the laundry noticed him, he called out,
"Only, こんぬぞ。今日も暑いこって。
いやー、暑いね。こんな暑いとゆだっちまってかなねえよ。
Okay. Suddenly I got goosebumps all over my body. Felt like something bad was about to happen for no reason. Everyone gets this feeling in a different way. Some people get a twitch in their eyelids or some kind of movement in their ears. In my case, I get goosebumps. Sadako was supposed to be cooking dinner tonight. We didn't have much inside the refrigerator, so I asked her to go grocery shopping. I was just watching TV and relaxing while I waited for her. She was usually back by the time my cartoon was over, after which she started cooking dinner. But my cartoon was over, the news had started, and Sadako wasn't home yet. Sadako sometimes waited until they had a sale at the store. In that case, she usually come home late. That must be what was happening. It was too early for me to start worrying about her. But, I can't explain this feeling. Can't explain it, but I feel extremely worried. Once I started feeling like that, I couldn't just sit in the room and wait for her.
Hanyu? Hanyu? Iru?
I thought she might know where Sadako might be, but she's never around when I need her. Hanyu is not with me 24 hours a day. She sometimes falls asleep, and sometimes she goes out for walks. Though in her case, it's not a walk, but more like a stalk. She follows people around when she finds someone interesting, and she enjoys observing them. Anyway, I had no choice. Okay, that confirms it for me. The damn footsteps that people keep hearing has to be from Hanyu, then. It has to be. You know, when Kechi heard them in Chapter 1, when Satoshi heard them, when, did Rena hear it? No, I don't think Rena heard them. No, actually, she did say she did hear them because of Satoshi's experience with them. So that has to be Hanyu by this point. Which is, in a way, I guess Rena was kind of right. It is Osho-sama, you know, observing them, like, not really cursing them, but it is Osho-sama's footsteps, huh? Anyway, I had no choice. I'd have to find Sadako on my own. I had a good idea of which stores Sadako goes to. I should check this first. We're in Himizawa. If I ask people, they tell me where she went.
あれ、リカちゃまでねですかい。ありがたや、ありがたや。
ニパー、それより今日、さとこが買い物に来なかったですか？
さとこちゃんの顔は見てないね。私がずっとお店番してたから、来れば見てるんだけどね。
I didn't even have time to say thanks. I went to the next door. People were greeting me and waving at me. I usually smile and greet them back, but I had no time for that at the moment. Sadako, Sadako, Sadako. I need Sadako, my wife. I was able to survive so long because of her support. Without her, this world would be so empty and boring. Sadako is nonchalant and optimistic, unlike me. I've learned so many things from her over the past 100 years. But I still need a word more from her.
Sadako! Sadako!
People stared at me as I went by them, screaming out her name. They didn't care what they thought, though. Sadako, Sadako, Sadako! Why are they looking at me like that? Looking for Sadako. Somebody tell me where she is. My heart was convulsing inside my body like a fish out of water. What little stamina I have. I hate my body for being so young.
角のお惣菜屋さんが夕方に売れ残りを安くするでしょう。そこに行ってるかもね。
I went to a few different places, but I still couldn't find her anywhere. The people I talked to gave me advice on where to go, but I couldn't find her in any of the places they suggested. I continued to run looking for her. I continued to run even though I bumped into people.
さあ、どうだろう。夕方は人がたくさん来るから覚えちゃいないかもしれん。
There are only a few places in Mizawa where we can go grocery shopping. Shouldn't be that difficult to find her, so why couldn't I? What? Tripped on something in the street and fell flat on the ground. I injured my hand on a small rock embedded in the ground. I didn't feel much pain, even though I said ouch. It just felt hot, as if I touched a frying pan. Suddenly, someone handed me a pretty handkerchief.
大丈夫？怪我とかしなかったかな？レナ、サトコを見なかったですか？
When I was carrying a grocery bag, I've heard that Sadako bumps into Rena often when she goes grocery shopping. They tend to choose the same stores.
サトコちゃんを？ううん、今日は見てないよ。
Oh boy.
サトコちゃんがお買い物の日だったの？そうです。会っていませんですか？わからないな。今日がサトコちゃんのお買い物の日なら絶対にスーパーひなみ沢の特売日を逃さないと思うもん。でもレナもスーパーにいたけど会わなかったし。
My brain wasn't getting enough oxygen. It took me a while to understand what Rena was talking about. I understood that Rena didn't see Sadako, but that wasn't the point. They had a huge sale in the market today? There's no way that Sadako would miss that sale. But she didn't see her there? What was that supposed to mean?
何かあったの？サトコちゃん、お財布とか家の鍵でも忘れちゃったかな？
I couldn't find the right words to explain. Should I tell her I feared that something bad happened to Sadako and that's why I was looking for her? No, I couldn't do that. I couldn't think too deeply about why she hadn't returned home.
どうしたの？困ってるなら力になるよ。話して。
I knew she was just trying to help me. I even thought I needed someone to help me just a few moments before. But now that she was here, I had no idea what I was supposed to say. No, that's not it. Truth is, I know. Somehow I know. I wouldn't have to know if it was someone else. But I have to know this. Rika Furude has to know what's going on. I know it. I remember it. I knew this was coming. I've experienced a whole world before where Sadako suddenly disappeared. But the possibility for that happening is as well as Akasaka showing up in Himizawa. And what happened randomly in my other lives? It's not the first time. It happened before too. I should see it for myself. I needed to see if I'd gotten stuck inside a devastating world again.
力になるから話して。ごめんなさいです。さよなら。あ、リカちゃん。
I started running. I couldn't pretend like I didn't know where she was. Please don't tell me that I was blessed only up to this point, that I'm about to fall back into my unfortunate fate from here on. I thought that this world was different. I thought I could move on to a happy future. I thought I would be able to defeat my deadly fate in this life. But this was just horrible. It was horrible that this was happening to this world. Oh no. Wait. Oh no. God damn it. I just figured it out. Oh no. I was standing in front of the place that I hate the most in Himizawa. Yes, it's Sadako's real home, the Hojo residence. I had been living with her since last fall, so this house was empty. In the beginning, she used to come back here to pick up her clothing and other necessities. But once she moved most of her stuff to my house, Sadako stayed away from this place. This was a sad place for Sadako, because all she could remember of it was the horrible time she spent with her uncle and aunt, and the memory of her missing brother Satoshi. That's why she never wanted to come back here. But that wasn't the reason I hate the house. It's because I know what happens whenever this house becomes an issue in my life. Oh God, please. Please bless me with just one more fortune. I closed my eyes and prayed, then I slowly opened them. The window was open on the second floor. The damn motorcycle. The fucking beginning of the chapter. The fucking motorcycle. That fucking motorcycle. Cramped. Because that fucking background image was like on the way to this fucking place. God damn it. It was open on the second floor. I saw a faded curtain swinging us inside. As soon as I saw that, my knees realized what was going on, even before my mind processed it. In the next moment, I lost strength in my legs and collapsed on the ground. I saw an unfamiliar motorcycle parked by the house. I also saw laundry and a futon hanging outside. I was certain that someone was living here. It was proof that someone was living inside this house. It's never good when there's someone living inside this house. This was very, very bad. Oh my God, this music. Holy shit. I knew exactly why. I knew why, but I felt like I wanted to act like I didn't know.
Rika? Sadako!
Sadako went outside to take the futon in and noticed me.
Rika?
Sadako looked down and forced herself to smile. I felt so sad. It wasn't just her expression. I could tell that her left cheek was red and swollen.
Sadako, こんなとこにいないで、お家へ帰りましょうです。
I took her hand, but she still looked down without squeezing back.
リカ、私、今日からこっちの家で暮らそうと思いますの。どうしてなのですか？私のおじさんが帰ってきましたの。それでこっちの家で一緒に暮らそうって話になりまして。聡子はそんなの望んでないはずなのです。意地悪なおじさんなんかと一緒に住んで楽しいはずがないのです。でもどうしようもありませんわ。リカの家へ帰っても連れ戻されるだけですもの。リカに迷惑がかかってしまいますわ。
She gave up with a sad smile. She looks exactly how she looked 1 year ago in 1982. Her uncle only slapped her face, and she's back to being the Sadako from 1982. The cheerful Sadako that I knew until yesterday could no longer be found. I took care of Sadako and tried to heal her wounded heart for over a year. She finally got her smile back, but her uncle took it all away with just one slap to her face. A broken soul can recover over time, but her damaged heart can never be fixed completely. I just took the broken pieces and put them back together. The cracks in her heart will always be there. That's why she wouldn't come with me no matter how hard I tried to pull her hand. She couldn't get over the fear. She knew just how scary her uncle could be.
さとこ、なんでほったらかん。どこ行きよんね。
I heard a disgusting voice from inside the house. Sadako stared at the ground, her shoulders were shaking.
なあ、なんじゃよ、それは。
He came out and stood right behind her.
なんでもありませんの。お友達と会っただけですのよ。
したらんどうでもええんね。それよか風呂け、磨かんかい風呂け。わしは風呂に入りたいしちゃったな、こら。
Sadako scampered back inside the house like a terrified small animal. I feel devastated as I watch her go.
遊びの約束だったかい。すまんの。ちょいとさとこは家の片付けで忙しいんよ。わしはさとこのおじなんね。ちょっと長いこと出張に出とってん。ようやくひなみ沢に戻ってきたわけなんよ。
Liar. He always showed back up because his lover went missing. In another world, I once let my hatred out on him. But then he inflicted the anger in equal turn onto Sadako. So I couldn't allow the dark flame burning within my chest to reflect in my eyes. Since I couldn't make myself smile and I couldn't insult him, all I could do was give him a short bow and run away from the scene.
なんね、泣く子も黙るわしのガンにビビってもうたんかいね。
I heard his hideous laughter from behind me. I cried as I ran away. Couldn't stop crying. I thought this was a perfect world until today. Why was God doing this to me? It was so too cruel. But I couldn't give up yet. Couldn't do anything, but I still had hope for this world. I didn't think the luck I had until yesterday was just a random thing. I went back to my house in a hurry. I needed to make a phone call. I didn't know the number because it was my first time calling the place. I looked inside the phone book and found it easily. I made a call to that number.
これはどうもどうも。フルデさんからお電話をいただけるなんて思いませんでした。何かございました？
I already knew that Oshi could never save Sadako based on what I've seen in my previous lives. For him, Sadako was only a good way to get at the Sonozaki family. Her uncle is probably his ploy in that regard too. Even if I talked to him about her situation, he would do nothing to save her. The only thing he'd tell me would be to call the Child Consolation Center.
大石、赤坂とお話ししたいのですが、いますですか？
赤坂さんですか？温泉行ってますよ。和倉温泉。
Wakura? That's not anywhere near here. I thought I was staying here until Wanakagashi.
なんでも温泉宿をやってる親類にご厄介になれるとかだそうで。いや、羨ましいことです。え？和倉ですか？石川県ですよ。能登半島の。
No way. He told me that he was staying here until Wanakagashi. I thought he meant he was staying in Mizawa. But did he actually mean this area of the country in general?
赤坂と連絡は取れませんですか？
That was a meaningless question. There's no way I could get to him to come here while he's enjoying his trip with his wife. Even if I can talk to him on the phone, he'll probably only tell me to call the Child Consolation Center or something.
お泊まりの旅館は聞いてませんしね。ものすごい高級旅館だって言ってたから、多分某有名なあそこだろうなとは思うんですがね。まあ最近の宿はガードが固いから部屋番号も知ってないと繋いでくれませんしね。
わかりました。もう電話はいいです。でも赤坂は綿流しのお祭りに来るとは言ってませんでしたか？
そうです。こちらへは能登への行きと帰りに滞在されるんですよ。だから先日も一泊されてくつろがれた後、すぐ立たれました。だから綿流しの直前にまたこちらへ戻ってきて滞在されると思います。あなたにお土産を買ってくると言ってましたよ。
How terrible. If it was too good to be true. I knew it was kind of strange for him to stay in a boring place like this. My luck seems to be turning. This might not be a surprise though. Just like I can roll a 6 3 times in a row, I can roll a 1 3 times in a row too. Happy things and unhappy things can happen with equal probability.
もしもし、何か伝言があるなら会った時に伝えておきますよ。
I looked at the calendar on the wall. I didn't know when he was coming back, but I was certain he wouldn't be for at least 1 more week. I thought back to the past to try and remember what happened. That guy will break Sadako apart in 1 week. I couldn't wait that long. I had to give up on seeking help from Akasaka. Well, that's okay. I still had 1 more option. 1 more person I could rely on.
いえ、いなければいいのです。ありがとうですよ、大石。ニパー。
I hung up the phone after thanking him. I couldn't make a phone call to the next person. I'd have to talk to him in person. Put my shoes on and headed to the Ire clinic. Okay. Oh, god damn it. Oh, motherfucker. Fuck. God damn it, as soon as I realized it was fucking Sadako's house, oh, it fucking killed me. Oh, motherfucker. Even though we had such a perfect world, the demons laughed, and it goes along with the script. Reason is... what reason for it? Who knows? The clinic's hours were over for the day. There was usually no one here after that. However, since Tomiki was here, they should still be inside the building for a meeting. They had to be there. The front door of the clinic was locked as I expected. I went around to the back door and rang a bell. The whole clinic is nervous when Tomiki is around. They usually ignore visitors, but I'm special.
どうしましたか？緊急の要件と聞きました。
私まで用とあっては穏やかな話ではなさそうね。
Yuri and Takano showed up soon after I was taken to the visitor's room. If Rikafurude has an emergency, then it's a priority for these 2 people. I'm the most important person in this village.
ひょっとして例の件ですか？誰かに狙われているという。
あなたの近辺は常時山犬の中でも特に優秀な連中が警護してくれているわ。あなたとあの日した約束をちゃんと守っているわよ。
I had no doubt about that. They saved me right away when we had that confrontation with those 3 delinquents the other day.
いえ、そうではないのです。お願いがあるのです。実は聡子の危機を救ってあげてほしいのです。
聡子ちゃんに何かあったんですか？
Yuri doesn't have that much power alone, even if he really wants to save her. But Takano controls the mountain dog, so she does have that power. In my previous lives, I was never able to get help from the mountain dogs because I wasn't on good terms with Takano. But this world is different. I have a better relationship with her in this life, and she even kept the promise she made. I trust her ability completely now.
あの北条哲平さんがですか？なんてことでしょう。
It was mainly Sadako's aunt who was abusing her last year, but Ire knows that her uncle is violent with her too. I told them that Sadako had gone back to the same condition she was in the previous year.
このま ままではいつ何があるのか分かりませんです。聡子を助け出すために力を貸してほしいのです。
Yurei seemed to want to do something for her, but he didn't know exactly what to do.
こういうのはどうすればいいんでしょう。やはり警察に相談した方がいいでしょうか。
さてどうかしら。現時点では何も起きていないわけでしょう。
そんなのは時間の問題なのです。このままでは大変なことになってしまうのです。
I hate to say that it's only a matter of time. I knew how she was going to get abused and how she was going to end up. I've seen it in the past. I really wanted to tell them about it, but I couldn't do that, as it hasn't happened in this world yet, and they just think I was imagining it.
多分こういうのはまず沖宮の生活相談所に訴えるのが先じゃないかしら。
そういえば以前、聡子ちゃんが児童相談所に虚偽の通報をしたなんてことがありましたね。ちゃんと話を聞いてくれるといいのですが。
The answer is no. My friends contacted the Child Consolation Center several times in the past, but Sadako always refuses their help. She claims that she isn't being abused. I think this answer arc is definitely for Chapter 3. And I think it's not just because of Sadako's uncle coming back. I think it's in terms of themes. Chapter 3 was also a chapter of being powerless, of unable to do anything about the world around you. We saw Kechi try to change the world by killing Tepe, but it seemed like the world had rejected it. That the world didn't accept his change to it. And in Chapter 6, we now learn of how Rika has been through the same things thousands of times and unable to change it. Unable to change fate. Unable to do anything. And it's such a... We've seen both perspectives. We were seeing from Kechi's side in Chapter 3 of how you want to do something, you want to do anything, lash out at the cool world, but it rejects it. Or be it with Rika, who has gone through this hundreds of times, and finally she thinks she's in the perfect world, a world where everything good happened, where all the dice have rolled 6s. But now this comes in, and this is one of the situations where it seems like, from what we saw in Chapter 3, this situation seems like you can't change it no matter what you do. Be it through legal or illegal means, by killing Tepe, by doing anything. It doesn't change the situation. Tepe still somehow lives and tortures Sadako. And then the gas disaster happens and kills everybody within the village. So what can you do in such a seemingly perfect world? What can you do for this impossible situation in every sense of the word? The Sadako from 1983 might have asked for their help, but currently she was the Sadako from 1982. For her, living with her uncle reminds her of the time when Satoshi was around. She feels like Satoshi will come back if she can live strongly without always relying on her brother. Even if the Child Consolation Center were to take the case seriously, it's just too late. Try to remember, in the most recent world I experienced, it only took a few days after Sadako was kidnapped by her uncle. It only took a few days for him to tear her heart apart. We had no time to waste. We needed to take action quickly.
聡子ちゃん自身が助けを求めてくれないことには助けようがないのが悔しいです。
入江先生の方から警察やお役所に連絡することもできるとは思うけど、そこ気の毒とは思うけど。
違うのです、違うのです。高野の力で聡子を助け出してほしいのです。
Yuri and Takano looked shocked, and both went quiet. They didn't expect me to seek help from Takano.
それは強硬的な手段に訴えろということですか？
僕はそういうお願いをしに今日ここへ来ていますのです。そうでなければこんな時間に押しかけたりしませんです。
お気持ちはわかります。ですが、
入江、聡子を大事に思うならどうか一生のお願いなのです。聡子を助けてくださいなのです。聡子はあと何日もしないうちに本当にひどいことになってしまいます。それは決まっていることなのです。もうしばらく様子を見てみようでは見殺しにするのと全く同じなのです。入江は去年の聡子をもう忘れてしまったのですか？もうそうなっているのです、今この瞬間にも。そしてあと数日で取り返しのつかないことになってしまうのです。
All I could do was to stare at him. Believing that Ire could see the future only I knew, the tragic end of waiting Sadako reflected in my eyes. Ire remained silent for too long a time to call it belief. Someone trying to think of some excuse to avoid the issue wouldn't go silent that long. He was recalling Sadako's terrible state last year and seriously considered if my plea was as urgent as I made it out to be. I know that he really cares about her. That's why I need his help.
どうしようかしらね。
Ire nodded and looked up. I guess he finally came to a conclusion. I just hoped it's a positive one.
高野さん、リカちゃんの頼みを聞いてあげてください。
入
江、去年聡子ちゃんに何の手も差し伸べられなかった無力さに悩んだことがあります。これはその時傍観して手を尽くさなかった私が罪を滅ぼす唯一のチャンスだと思います。
しかしそうはおっしゃいますけれど。
Takano didn't think that Ire would make that decision. She seemed shocked to hear his response.
当施設の責任者として正式に高野さんにお願いしたいと思います。聡子ちゃんをどうか助けてあげてください。
入江先生、助けるという言葉がどういう意味か少し分かりかねます。どうか落ち着いてください。
聡子ちゃんは我々にとって欠かすことのできない存在です。これまでもそしてこれからも我々の研究に最大限貢献するでしょう。本件は高野さんの職務に含まれるものとお察しします。
Ire continued food, though Takano tried to persuade him.
所長、入江京介としてお願いいたします。高野さん、どうか聡子ちゃんを救ってください。
I stared into Takano's eyes together with him.
高野も聡子と仲良しだったはずです。どうか聡子の友人として助けてあげてくださいです。
助けてくださいという言い方がお二人とも実に偽善的ね。それはつまり叔父の方を何とかせよというご命令ですわよね。
Yes.
卑怯な言い方をすれば、妖精に対し どう対処するかを決定する権限が高野さんにあります。でもそれが卑怯ならば、私がはっきりそれを口にしても構いません。
入江先生、いえ、入江所長、そのご命令を実行すれば私は無論、そして入江所長も責任を問われることになりますが、その覚悟はおありですか？
Section chief, huh? I looked at his face. Unlike me, Yurei has many things to lose. He knew that Takano's words would shake him emotionally. However, Yurei was determined.
ええ、構いません。申し開きをする場へ引き出されても、自身の心を裏切るよりはるかにマシです。
左門がどういうものかもご存じないのに、大した虚勢だことで。
高野さんが上手にやってくだされば、東京に知られずに済みます。それで誰もが円満に決着できませんか？
リスクばかりで見返りのない仕事ね。
高野が望むなら神社の宝物を他にもたくさん見せてあげますです。もう見せるのを意地悪したりしないです。だから今回だけ助けてほしいのです。
The risk she's taking is larger than the reward I'm offering. That's about the only thing I can offer her. I don't care about the traditions of the 3-day shrine as long as I can save my friend from her suffering.
わかりました。これじゃ私が悪者みたいだものね。
She forced a smile and accepted the favor I asked for her.
ありがとう、高野さん。
どういう風に助けるかは一任いただきます。具体的なプランは後でお好みと相談します。
後ではダメです。今でないとダメなのです。
She promised to save Sadako, but she still wasn't motivated for it. It'd be too late if she didn't do something right now. Trying to make Takano understand that this is an urgent matter.
そうですね。リカちゃんも、そして私も、今この場でしっかり納得のいく決着がつくことを願っています。こんな時間にせかして申し訳ありませんが、どうかお願いできませんか
God's sake, it's a single backwater gangster. How hard is it to just assassinate him and cover up the body, alright?
二人とも、さとこちゃんのこととなると目の色が違うんだから。わかりました。少し待たせるかもしれませんがお待ちください。
無理を聞いてくれてありがとう。
いいえいいえ。私の給与査定者の頼みですもの。笑顔でお引き受けいたしますわ。リカちゃんはさっきの約束、絶対に忘れないでよ。
きっとなのです。神社に来た時はおまんじゅうとお茶もつけますのです。
Takano smiled slightly and left the room. Once we finally heard her footsteps fade away, the tension in the room dissolved. Yuri offered me something to drink, but I refused. I must have thought everything was taken care of, but I couldn't relax until Sadako was physically returned to me.
入江、聡子ですが、お薬とかは大丈夫なのですか？おじは聡子が逃げ出すと思って家から出さないと思いますから、もうここへ来ることはできないと思います。
幸いなことに先週まとめて針と薬を渡してあります。ですのでしばらくは問題ないでしょう。ただ強い精神負担は薬でも抑えきれません。少しずつ追い詰められ、いつか取り返しのつかないことになるでしょう。
そのいつかというのはほんの数日後の話なのです。
Yep. Takano hadn't come back yet. I thought it would be bad news if she came back too early, but I started feeling nervous after she had taken so long. Yuri insisted I go home because it was getting very late. couldn't go home and relax, however, until I heard from her that everything was taken care of. I had to wait for her to come back. I needed to deal with this tension until then. Over an hour later, Takano finally returned.
お待たせ。
ああ、いかがでしたか？
She was looking for the right words. I got a very bad feeling from her reaction alone.
残念だけど、簡単にいかなくなったわ。
どうしてですか？
つい最近、沖宮で殺人事件があったらしいの。
Oh, found fucking Rina's
その
body.
事件に何らかの関与があると疑って、北条哲平を警察がマークしてるらしいわね。
事件？何ですかそれは？
間宮とかいう女が園崎家の上納金に手を出して見せしめに殺されたとかなんとかで、警察が北条家と園崎家の関係に慎重になったらしいのよ。その女はどうも北条哲平と実婚らしい。綿流しも近いしね。お社様のたたりの5年目をなんとか阻止したい警察が、北条哲平が今年の犠牲者じゃないかとマークして釣り糸を垂らしてるって話みたい。
Son of a bitch.
釣り糸って何なんですか？
北条哲平をマークしてれば、お社様のたたりの真犯人を釣り上げられると睨んでるのよ。
Fuck.
なんてことだ。では
リカちゃん、本当に申し訳ないんだけど、警察のマークが外れるまで山犬には手の出しようがない。
そんな、山犬の方ならもっと困難な任務でもこなせるでしょうに。
それは入念な準備と計画に基づき、しかるべき機を見ての話です。通常は長い監視期間を設け、その上でタイミングを測ります。
Okay, so by this point, Takano is not just a nurse. I think she's the leader of like a damn mercenary force.
同等の任務なら半年から1年をかけるところです。今更言うことではありませんが、私たちは決して日の当たるところへ出ることができない存在です。日の元へ出たならば灰になる存在なのです。
So there was a secret organization. But they're working for us instead. Which makes the fucking question even bigger. Who the fuck's behind these damn murders? What the fuck then?
だからマークされ眩しく照らし出された今の状態では近づくことすらできない。
ではいつならその木だと言うんですか？
最も早くて綿流しの後ね。
No, that'll be too late.
多分綿流しが終われば警察もマークを解くかもしれない。
But that would be too late. She's saying to be after Higurashi. I didn't even know if that was a day after or a year after. She also said it usually takes at least 6 months to prepare this kind of mission. That's too long. For this world was different. But that hope was slipping through my fingers.
ではどうすれば里子ちゃんを救えると言うんですか？
日の当たる世界では日の当たる世界のルールで解決するのが筋かと思います。例えば警察へ相談する、児童相談所に相談する。
Doesn't fucking work. Murdering him doesn't work. Telling somebody else about it doesn't fucking work. Just motherfucker.
差し当たっては学校、警察、あるいは
それは何度もやったけど無駄だった。
Yuri and Takano were surprised. They had never expected me to raise my voice. In fact, I didn't think myself that I would react this way. But I couldn't keep my emotions in check after Takano suggested all those meaningless solutions.
私はお前たちにずっと協力してきた。
何の見返りも求めず、ただただこの身を捧げて協力してきた。それなのに、どうして聡子の一人だけが救えないというのか。あれだけの力を持ちながら、どうして聡子を救うことにのみ臆病なのか。何の力にもならない警察や役所、そして利用するだけして何も助けてくれないお前たち。もういい、もういい。私はよくわかった。この世界が袋小路だということがよくわかった。もうお前たちには興味ない。この世界にも未練はない。そうさ、あれだけの幸運に恵まれても、結局私はこの運命から逃れられなかった。そうさそうさ、またいつもの運命。お前は山奥で焼かれて死ね。お前は睡眠薬で自ら死ね。そして私は当然のようにまた死のう。どういう殺され方をするのか未だに知らず命を散らそう。ここは運命の袋小路、行き止まり。私は生まれた時から殺されるために生かされている運命の家畜。みんな死ね死ね、みんな死ね。どうせ終わる世界なんだ。消えてしまえ。うわ
I can't put words to my emotions any when I start to cry. I was so lucky up until yesterday. I had so much hope in my heart, but it had all been for nothing. Felt like everything was falling apart. I've lived for more than 100 years. I've lived longer than a normal human lifetime. I thought I was blessed with good fortune for the first time in my life. This would never happen to me again. I thought a miracle had occurred, but everything was shattered. I cried and cursed this world. I needed to give up on my life as soon as possible. Sadako would be waiting for me with a smile on my next one. I wanted to go see her, but what would happen to Sadako in this world? What would happen if I abandoned her? I didn't know, and I didn't care. Sadako. I'm a witch who has lived for 100 years. I still couldn't rid myself of the human emotions in my heart. I didn't get anything to eat because Sadako was supposed to be making dinner tonight. But I didn't have an appetite anyway, so I figured I should just go to bed. I still had to make lunch for the next day, though. Sadako might come to school tomorrow. I went twice, hoping that I would have to waste the lunch I was making for the two of us. I had to stop thinking like that. I already knew it was a waste to make her lunch. I already knew that Sadako wasn't coming to school ever again. I felt so miserable while rinsing the rice. The tears started dropping into it as I thought about her. Why was this happening in this world? I thought everything changed when Kechi gave that doll to Mion. In that world, Mion pretended to be your sister for a week and got closer to Kechi. But that wasn't happening this time. I thought we would be having a good time until the festival. Huh? That's odd. Wasn't that club activity 2 weeks before Wanakagashi? I realized something. The club activity was exactly the same, but it happened 1 week earlier than the world I knew of. It was 1 week earlier than my previous life. I get it now. I thought I was familiar with this world, but it was actually a different one where events are mixed up. That means that even though Kechi gave the doll to Mion, that didn't solve everything. I thought I was getting lucky. I was confident that everything was going to be okay. I stopped making an effort. I knew that there was a possibility that Sadako's uncle was coming back, but I let her go do the grocery shopping. I would have been more careful and kept her home if I knew that he was coming back to get her. I should be careful in my next life. Ow. Oh my god. Oh, I swallowed. Oh my god, I swallowed my fucking Coke, man. Oh god. But there wouldn't be a next wife that was so fortunate. I didn't get lucky that often. Even if I walked Sadako inside the closet, it would be over when his father messed up something or Kachi lost his mind. I have to clear up everything that's not within my reach, but I also have to make the best effort I can. Without that, I can't overcome the fate of 1983. In this way, I may be able to overcome my deadly fate with Takano's help, but Sadako will not be there in my future. That defeats the whole purpose. My goal is to survive this year while laughing with my best friends. I don't want to sacrifice Sadako in order to survive. I don't want to live in a world without her. I was blessed with all those fortunes, but I still couldn't defeat my destiny. I ruined everything because I stopped working so hard. I will never again have a lucky life like this. I lost my first and only chance. I cried and scratched the floor. I didn't know if I should curse my fate or curse myself for not putting forth enough effort. Before I realized that Hanyu was standing in front of me. I didn't know how long she had been there. She just stared down at me with a look of pity on her face.
Hanyu, あんたの言いたいことは分かってる。だから運命に期待するなと言った。でしょ。期待するななんて酷な話よ。あれだけ全てに恵まれた。サイコロを振る前から6が出ると確信できる世界なんて初めてだった。あれだけの勢いがあればきっと打ち破れると信じた。それでもあんたはあのおもちゃ屋の時からずっと言ってたわね。期待しすぎるなと。
She probably felt something strange at a toy store that day. She realized that the date was 1 week off. This was not the same old world that I knew. She had realized early on that I still shouldn't be too excited about this life.
僕もリカと一緒にいて短くないのです。だからリカに聞かれると思って先に言いますです。僕にも今日の運命など分かりませんでしたです。ただ僕から助言できるのはただ一つ。この世の運命なんて秋の空より気まぐれで一喜一憂するにも当たらない祭事に過ぎないということなのです。
There are 6 sides on a die. That's the reality of it. Doesn't mean that the 6 is the best number either. I should just take any number that I roll. I shouldn't be disappointed if I roll a 1 a few times in a row. It's pathetic how I thought rolling a 6 was the best result you could obtain.
100年ちょいを生きるくらいじゃそこまで悟るなんて難しいわね。
でもリカ、僕も何度か言いましたが、今回の世界は奇跡ではありませんです。我慢強く待てばきっとまた巡ってくる世界なのです。
我慢強く待てばってそれは何十年後何百年後の話なの。もう私たちには力は残っていない。多分再び世界をやり直しても昭和58年の6月より前へは戻れない。それどころか戻れる時間はどんどん短くなっていく。そんな短い日々を再び奇跡が起こるまでずっとずっと繰り返せというの。数年を繰り返す世界ですら狂ってしまいそうになるというのに、たった 1,2 週間の世界を再び奇跡が起こるまで永遠に生き続けろというの。無理よ、無理無理、絶対無理。
I was betting on this world. I bet all my coins on this one world, and I lost. I lost all my coins to this fate. I have no more coins left in my heart. These coins are known as hope. I have no coins left to hope for my dreams to come true. I lay on the floor as if I collapsed. The floor should have been cold, but I didn't feel anything.
これが希望をすべて打ち砕かれるということね。
I always thought people could survive as long as they had some bread and water. But that's not right. People can't live without hope. People can survive because they believe that something good will happen to them eventually, as long as they keep on living. But that's just for normal people who don't know what awaits them in their future. There's no such hope for a witch like me.
もう何もかもがどうでもいい。この世界だけじゃない。これからの世界もすべてどうでもいい。このまま灰になってしまえたら。
リカ、そんなことを言ってはダメなのです。リカ。
Hanya's voice gradually fades away. I slowly lost my senses. As I lay down on the kitchen floor, I let myself sink into the darkness. Shit, man. I dragged my butt. God, does this chapter have such beautiful fucking music. Oh my god, these tracks are great. I dragged my body to school, hoping that Sadako might be there. But just as I expected, there was no one sitting in her seat. I felt all the more devastated this seating empty. I had nothing left to bet on. All I could do was get hurt and suffer this devastation. Blood flowed from my broken heart and found its way out from my eyes in the form of tears.
フルデさん、どうしましたか？今日は北条さんはお休みですか？
Whole class was wondering why I came in late today and why Sadako wasn't with me. But even if I felt sympathy from everyone's eyes on me, I didn't feel any promise from them. No one here was able to save Sadako. No one. No one could save her. Why should I have to keep smiling at all these useless people? This world is finished anyway. If I leave matters alone, then a few days after the Wanakagachi festival, my movie reel will be cut as I'm murdered like usual, and I'll return to the beginning of this month again. So I'll continue to live forever in June 1983. Trapped here. Even death won't set me free from this prison.
フルデさん、何かあったなら話してください。北条さんは今日はどうしたんですか？風邪でお休みですか？うるさいな。
The whole class gasped. No one expected Rika Furude to talk like that. I myself made such blunt statements a few times in several past worlds, but it was always the first time anyone in that world heard anything like that. That must have been very easy for them, and I envied it.
フルデさん。
Chie was standing there dumbfounded. She stood up from my seat. If Sadako wasn't around, I didn't want to be locked up inside of this humid place.
帰るわ。
I'm not coming here anymore. Goodbye. I feel like saying something like that. However, I retained a small hope that Sadako might go to school the next day, so I kept it to myself. However, Chie wouldn't let me go. She grabbed me by the arm and dragged me to the teacher's office instead. Chie told me to take a seat on the couch by the principal's office. She had no right to tell me what to do. I could just escape through the open window. As I didn't have that kind of energy, however, I sat on the couch as she told me to. I realized then that I didn't even have the energy to be rebellious. Maybe Sadako felt the same. She lost the energy to rebel, so she was simply obeying her uncle.
フルデさん、何があったか話してください。先生はきっと力になれますよ。
Chie spoke to me, but I already knew that her words were empty. All she would do was call the Child Consolation Center. She wouldn't go to the Hojo residence and pull Sadako out of there. So there was no point in even discussing the topic with her. If I told her, she wouldn't keep it to herself. She right away everyone would know about what was happening with Sadako. That would only result in chaos. If they call the Child Consolation Center, the staff from there will go and visit Sadako. Her uncle will deny the abuse, and Sadako will also deny it because of the guilt she feels over Satoshi weaving. Shortly after they find out about the false report Sadako made before, and they'll decide to not proceed any further. Her uncle will allow Sadako to go to school for a few days, but his abuse will get worse because he'll think she's the one who called the Child Consolation Center. He'll do horrible things to her, just like her aunt did last year. Calling the Child Consolation Center will not help Sadako, it will instead put her in an even worse situation. It's better not to notify them at all. But if we don't report it, then how else is this world supposed to improve? No. Nothing is going to change. There's nothing that can be done once this unfortunate fate overtakes Sadako.
北条さんのおじさんが？それは本当ですか？
I had somehow answered all of Chie's questions without noticing. I knew that nothing would change whether I spoke to her or not. So I just told her everything. Because I had no energy to rebel.
だいたい状況はわかりました。大変なことになりましたね。で、そこまで知ってあなたは何ができるの？
Chie answered right away without flattering, already used to my spiteful tone.
今日夕方に家庭訪問に行ってみます。まずはさとこちゃんに会って事情を聞いてみます。それで問題があるようならば児童相談所に相談するって言うんでしょ。さとこは過去に嘘の通報をした記録が残ってると思うからね。虐待の確たる証拠がないと動いてくれないわ。人が殺されるまで捜査をしてくれない警察と全く同じよ。さとこが殺されるまで相談所は動いてなんかくれない。そうすると相談所も学校もこう言うの。いじめの兆候は全くなかった。普段は明るくて全く予見できなかったって。誰かが用意してくれたコメントを読み上げるみたいに同じことを言うのよね。
Yeah, it's unfortunately true. It always seems like it's always too late when someone gets involved.
本当にバカばっかね。そこはきっと相談所の人が何とかしてくれると思います。私も北条さんの窮状をしっかり訴えます。
You've done the same in previous lives too. I wasn't denying her passion, but I couldn't say that there was meaning to it. The problem wasn't with Chie. The problem was with them. No matter how hard Chie tried to seek help from child services, it meant nothing as long as they held biased notions about Sadako.
そんなの証拠があるかどうかなんて関係ないじゃないですか。
Oh shit. I suddenly heard a voice from the hallway. It was Shion's voice. Chie shouted, "Who's there?" and I heard Mion gasping crap. Must have been listening to our conversation. They were having a quiet discussion outside the door, but Shion accidentally raised her voice. She gets so violent sometimes. 4 people entered into a room from the hallway. Mion, Shion, Kechi, and Runa.
自習だと言ったはずですよ。委員長は皆さんを連れて教室に戻りなさい。そんな場合じゃないです。さとこに何かあったら先生、どう責任を取るつもりなんですか？取れないでしょ？ ひよってる場合じゃないです。すぐに行動を起こさなきゃダメです。お姉のバカとかはちゃんとした証拠がないとむしろ事態を悪化させかねないとか言ってますけど、そんな証拠が残った後じゃ遅いんです。ミオンは聡子を見殺しにする気？そこまでは言ってないよ。さっきも言ったように聡子には過去に沖宮の相談所に嘘の通報電話をした経験があって、それ以来マークされてるんだよ。だからしっかりした証拠がなければ必ず訪問調査だけして様子見ってことになる。それはどういうことか考えなよ。おじの怒りに油を注ぐだけ。聡子を余計追い詰めるだけなんだよ。
くそ、なんだよそれはよ。何かある前に手を施すのが救うってことだろ。聡子に何かあるまで放置しろってのか。
みんな落ち着いて。私もしーちゃんや圭一くんと同じ意見。何かあるまで様子を見ようなんてのは絶対思わない。なら何ができるのかを考えなくちゃ。
何かってなんだ。児童相談所に相談することだろ。絶対に助けてくれるならいいが、様子見になる確率が高いってミオはそう言ってるわけだろ。
うん。悔しいけど昨年がそうだったように今年もそうなる可能性が極めて高い。しかも今年は昨年に比べたら状況がまだまだ甘いの。去年は聡子が十分に追い詰められている状態だった。でも今回はまだおじに連れ去られて1日しか経ってない。しかもおじは1年間放置していたとはいえ親権を持ってるし。そんな回りくどいことなんか必要ないでしょ。そんな野郎待ち伏せてぶっ殺してやればいい。
しーちゃん、そんなのダメ。サトシ君はそんなのを絶対に喜ばないよ。
じゃあ聡子をどうやって助ければいいんです？サトシ君に頼まれた。聡子を頼むって頼まれた。私聡子に何かあったらサトシ君に顔向けできないよ。聡子がいじめ抜かれた後じゃないと手が打てないなんて、そんなの方法じゃない。目の前で現在進行している犯罪はまず通報するの？違うでしょ。止めなきゃ。私たちの手で自ら止めなきゃ。落ち着きなよシオン。おねえ、その先本家の当主でしょ。本家の力で聡子を助けてよ。できるでしょ。聡子一人を助けるくらいの力は十分にあるでしょうね。分かってるよ。ダム戦争で遺恨が残る北条家には一切関わらないってばあさんの方針なんでしょ。
No shit.
聡子がどうなろうと見て見ぬふりというのがその先本家の方針なんでしょ。沖宮の相談所に助けられなくて園崎家にも助けられないなら私がやるしかないじゃないですか。私がやるよ。聡子を不幸にするやつはぶっ殺してやる。今すぐ殺してやる。この場から聡子の家まで行って刺し殺すのに1500秒もかからないんだから。
Oh fuck.
あんたたちには1500秒で何ができる？何もできないでしょ。私が助ける。私が聡子を助けるの。離してよ、離してよ。今から殺しに行くんだから。シオンさん、お静かになさい。物騒なことをこれ以上言うと怒りますよ。
They were desperately discussing how to save her. I just sat on the couch and stared at them vaguely. I had seen this same discussion many times in many different situations. I was tired of listening to it. The only difference was that everything was happening a few days earlier than usual.
リカ、大丈夫。もう何にも期待なんかしないから。期待なんてどこにも残ってない。
Hanyu made a sad expression. I couldn't tell if she was sad about our fate or if she was taking pity on me. Just as she promised, Chie went to Sadako's house after school. It had only been a day since Sadako's uncle took her away. She wouldn't be able to tell if he heard her already or not. If the students hadn't made such a big fuss about it, Chie would have waited a couple of days before going to her house. She already knew, however, about what happened to Sadako the previous year. She also knew that her uncle was abusing her just like her aunt, and that he had neglected to act as her guardian for the whole year. Considering those factors, it might not have been too soon for her to visit the Hojo residence. Sadako hadn't showed up in school that day. No one called the school to explain her absence. That alone was proof that her uncle wasn't taking responsibility as her guardian. Chie was going to his house and see what was going on with her own eyes. She parked the car in the street and checked the map she brought from the school. It said Hojo residence on the sign in front of the house. Chie was certain that this had to be the place. The window on the second floor was open and she could see a curtain hanging there. From that window she could hear the laughing voices of several old men. No one had answered the phone when she called right before leaving the school. She could also hear the clicking noise of mahjong tiles along with their voices. She had never played mahjong before, but had a pretty good idea that it was from the way the men were talking. If they were playing mahjong, then there must have been 3 other men inside the house. Her students had told her that Sadako's uncle was a very violent man. Chie was a teacher, true, but she was also just a young lady. She felt hesitant to ring the doorbell after hearing their disgusting laughter. But courage drove her forward. She made her decision and rang the doorbell. She heard the bell ring inside the house, but the laughing voices continued to echo from the second floor, soon as though they didn't hear the bell. She rang the bell again, and this time the laughter stopped for a moment. Someone must have heard the sound, but soon after they started laughing again. It didn't sound like anybody was coming to get the door. She thought someone heard the bell, but perhaps not. Chie was sure they were home, of course. She couldn't leave just because no one was answering the door. She knocked and yelled loudly this time.
Konnichiwa! Hojo-san, いらっしゃいませんか?
And only laughter stopped, and the man with a scary look on his face opened the door.
なんじゃいね踊れは。やかましかとっととうせえ。
Chie felt intimidated by him, but her heart was filled with a teacher's pride and responsibility.
こんにちは。北条さんでいらっしゃいますか? 私。
Before she could introduce herself, Teppei screamed at her.
やかましか。新聞も牛乳も保険も間に合っとんねん。わしゃ今むっちゃ忙しいんよ。仕事中じゃいね。
The people in the room laughed when he told her he was working. Chie wouldn't give up. She continued to speak.
私、ひなみ沢文庫教諭の千恵と申します。北条聡子さんはいらっしゃいますか?
なあ、なんじゃよ踊れ。なんで踊りに聡子合わせねえならんねん。
今日北条さんが学校をお休みしましたけれど、連絡がなかったもので、何かあったのかと思いお伺いさせていただきました。
ああ、学校？
はい。聡子ちゃんはいますか? ちょっとお話ししたいことがあるのですが。
ああ、風邪なんね。そうそう。聡子は風邪で熱出してるんですわ。
プリントとかをお渡ししたいので、ちょっとだけお話しすることはできませんか?
ドアホ。 踊れ話聞いてなかったんかい。聡子は風邪じゃ。うなっとるね。それを合わせられるかいボケ。
そうですか。明日は登校できそうですか？
知るかいな。そんなもん明日になってみなきゃわからんわ。このクソボケ。
そうですか。わかりました。では聡子ちゃんによろしくお伝えください。失礼します。
Chie bowed, but at the time she lifted up her head, Tepe was no longer there. When Chie returned to school, several students emerged from the classroom. They were Kechi, Renan, Mion, and Shion. Rika was also still inside the classroom, but she wouldn't come outside.
先生、どうでしたか？
聡子のとこに行ってきたんですよね。
皆さん、それが聞きたくて待っていたんですか？
千恵先生、聡子はどうでしたか？無事でしたか？
それが会わせてもらえませんでした。
あんた何しに行ったんですか？教師でしょ。ガキの使いじゃないんです。会えませんでした、そうですかで帰ってきちゃ意味ないじゃないですか。やめなよシオン。そんなこともあるだろうって予想できたことだよ。どうせ聡子の顔に青あざがあるに決まってます。だから会わせられないんです。そこは無理やり押しのけても家の中に踏み入るくらいしなきゃダメなんです。だからもう先生なんて信用できないって言いました。
本当にごめんなさい。
やめなよしーちゃん。先生はできる範囲の最善を尽くしてくれたよ。
だがこれで本当にはっきりしたな。その聡子のおじってやつが聡子を家に閉じ込めているってのはどうやら間違いないみてえだ。
そんなの確かめる前から分かってます。リカちゃまがそうだって昼間からずっと言ってるじゃないですか。それを確かめるだけに半日費やしたんですよ。それでどうするんですか？どうやって聡子を助けるつもりですか？だから落ち着きなって。それをみんなで考えようよ。シオンが聡子のことを大事だと思うように私たちだって大事に思ってる。決して見殺しになんかしない。私たちにできることを考えようよ。そうですね。私はもう考えて提案しましたよ。私がたった一人で今日中に決着できるものすごくお手軽な方法です。死体を隠すとこだけお姉の力を借りますが。
だからしーちゃん、物騒な話をするのはやめて。しーちゃんは人殺しのことを簡単に考えすぎなの。人を殺せば解決できるなんて考え方はおよそ思いつく考えの中で最低の最低、本当の最低のことなの。
なら他に提案をしてみてくださいよ。私の提案が最低の最低なら私よりほんのちょっぴり上等な程度でいいですから代案を聞かせてください。ほらほら、何も言えないじゃないですか。私なら1500秒で聡子を救える。お姉の力なんか借りられなくてもいい。死体なんか私が引きずって鬼ヶ淵の沼にでも放り込んでやる。ほら提案してくださいよ。これより早くてすぐに聡子を救える方法を。
だからそうじゃないの。一人で悩んだらそんなことしか考えられないの。ならはっきり言ってあげるよ。1500秒かかりすぎでしょ、そんなの。私なら1000秒かけないよ。しーちゃんなんかみたいにぐちぐち言わずに黙って教室を出て行ってもう実行してるよ。なんでそうしないと思う？昔誰かに教えられたことがあるの。たとえそれしか方法がなかったとしても殺人に訴えるのはいけないこと。 正しいことじゃない。最善手なんかじゃないの。それしかないと思ってしまうことが一人で悩むことの限界なの。
A long time ago. I don't know who told me this, but someone taught it to me. There's something that troubles you. Can't think about it all on your own. Can't think that your own solution is the best way to conclude things.
みんなで考える。みんなで悩む。確かに今この瞬間はしーちゃんの短絡的な提案に対する提案をできないけど、私たちがみんなで考えれば絶対にそれよりいい解決策が見つけられるよ。
いいとか悪いとかの問題じゃないです。1分1秒でも無駄な時間を費やせば聡子がどんな乱暴されるか考えればいいじゃないですか。北条って性がそんなに憎らしい？サトシ君や聡子がどんなに辛くても誰も手を差し伸べないの？私が助ける。ご託なんてもうたくさん。そこをどいてよ。そこまで言うなら今から行ってくる。あいつをサクッと殺して聡子を助け出してくる。
ダメだよしーちゃん。しーちゃん。
お前たちは呪ってろ。自分たちの無力さをいつまでも。そしてより集まって思いつきもしない妙案を議論し合えばいい。そうして聡子のために何かしているという免罪符を得ながら聡子を看板に見殺しにしていけばいい。あんたたちは誰も聡子のことを大事に思ってないんだ。聡子のことなんか遊び友達だとしか思ってないんだ。私は違う。聡子は友達以上家族だとすら思ってる。あんたたちとは聡子を大事に思う心が違うの。じゃあね、殺してくるね。さようなら。
待ちな。
何を邪魔する気ですか？
シオン、お前レナの言ったことが半分も理解できてねえだろ。
半分どころかお釣りが来るくらいに理解してますよ。殺しをするほんのちょっとの度胸があればすぐに救えるのに、それをきれい事でごまかす偽善の話ですよね。
シオン、お前が人殺しをしてまで聡子を救ったとして聡子は感謝すると思ってるのか？
感謝が欲しいわけじゃないです。別に私は差し違えてもいい。それで聡子が幸せになれるなら本望なんですから。
違うな。口先の威勢はなかなかいいが、お前には差し違える度胸なんかありゃしねえな。その証拠にお前はさっきミオンに死体を隠すのを頼みたいようなことを言ったじゃねえか。それはつまり差し違えたくない、叔父をぶっ殺した後元の平穏な生活に戻りたいって願望の表れじゃねえか。お前が本当に望んでいる世界はついこの間までの世界、俺たちみんなが仲良く楽しく過ごしていたあの世界への回帰なんだ。だがな、お前が殺人を犯せば絶対にその世界へは戻れない。そうそう簡単に完全犯罪なんかができると思うなよ。お前は絶対に逮捕される。
それくらい覚悟の上です。聡子の苦しみを私が懲役で買われるなら本望です。
違うな違うな、絶対にそれは違うな。お前は自分を呪うぜ。かけてもいい。どうして自分が殺人なんて貧乏くじを引かなくちゃならなかったのか、未練がましく自分を呪うんだ。
As we've seen before.
そしてその時になってようやくシオンが本当に求めていたことに気がつくんだよ。それは叔父を殺すことじゃない。みんなと元の世界に戻ることだ。そしてそれは殺人を犯すことで台無しになってしまうんだよ。そしてお前が自分を呪うように聡子も自分を呪うだろうな。自分が原因で シオンが殺人を犯す羽目になったとずっと後悔すると思う。
Yeah.
第一、お前がいなくなったら誰がサトコにカボチャを食わせるんだよ。誰がサトコと陰険なトラップの相談をするんだよ。お前だろ。園崎シオンだろ。お前が本当に目指す世界にはお前がサトコの脇にいなければダメなんだよ。そこを間違えるな。サトコのためだと錯覚して自ら取り返しのつかない間違いを犯すんじゃない。
そこまで言うならケイちゃんはサトコを救う方法を何か提案できるんですか？できないでしょ。口先だけの綺麗事で私の邪魔立てをするな。だからそこをどいて殺す。私が今から殺しに行く。
Kechi blocked her way by standing in front of the door. Shion gave him a fateful glare, but he just sent back his confident smile.
シオンを生かせるわけにはいかねえな。俺たちの望む世界はシオンが欠けたら成立しない。だから俺はお前を生かさないぞ。
ほう。ならケイちゃんは北条哲平をかばってるってわけですね。なら同罪だ。お前から先に頭を叩き割ってやる。ちょっと
Shit.
バカシオン、やめなよ。シオンさん、その椅子をどうするつもりですか？やめなさい。椅子を床に置きなさい。ケイちゃんがこの後に及んでまだ私が本気だって分かってないならマジで血見ます。謝んなくていいですからとっととどきやがれってんです。
シオン、確かに今この瞬間俺はよりいい提案をできない。でもそれは今思いついてないだけのことだ。俺たちはきっとサトコを助けるもっとマシな方法を考え出す。絶対にだ。絶対に俺たちがサトコを救う。だからな、信じろ仲間を。
仲間であるサトコのために手を汚さない連中にサトコを仲間呼ばわりされたくないです。もう一度は言わない。そこをどきやがれ。
シオンこそ頭を冷やして考え直せ。俺たちはきっとサトコを救える。それを信じろ。だから短絡的な考えに走るんじゃない。仲間を信じろ。仲間呼ばわりされたくないってんなら俺を前原圭一が必ずサトコを救う。だからそいつにかけてみろ。
黙れ無力。お前なんか信じられるか。お前にどうやってサトコが救えるというのか。シオン。
Shion threw the chair at Kechi. It hit him hard and the chair fell to the floor with a loud noise. But Kechi was unfazed even after being struck. He just stood in front of the exit without even covering his face. Wait, he wasn't unfazed. A trail of blood was pouring from his forehead where the corner of the chair hit him.
答えねえな。その程度で俺が道を譲ると思ったかよ。殺されたって俺はここをどかねえぞ。お前を生かせればシオンのいない世界になる。その世界ではいなくなったお前のことをずっと思って毎日うつむいているサトコがいるんだ。俺たちがどうやって慰めてもその場だけは元気そうにするがすぐにまたうつむいてしまう。そんな悲しい世界があるんだ。俺はサトコにそんな悲しい世界を見せたくない。俺たちが描く世界は昨日までがそうだったようにみんなで楽しく過ごして暴れて遊べるあの世界だ。もちろんおじの野郎なんかに二度とサトコを泣かすような真似はさせない。それがどういう方法なのか今この場では 確かに思いついていない。でもそれは絶対に思いつく。絶対だ。だから俺を信じろ。
Shion wasn't yet convinced, but even so, she walked to the window and took her seat. Somebody rested a hand on Kechi's shoulder. It was the principal. He'd been standing there and listening to him for a while.
校長先生。
よく耐えた。千恵先生、一部始終は聞かせてもらいましたぞ。
私が至らぬばかりに申し訳ありません。
昨日の今日の出来事ではあるが、わしももはや猶予のならない事態だと思っておる。しかるべきところへすぐに連絡するべきであろう。
でも校長先生、児童相談所には過去にも相談したことがあって。どうせ助けてなんかくれませんよ。他力本願もいいとこです。
Shion raised her voice. Principal looked at Shion and started talking.
園崎シオン君、私は言葉の中で最も憎むべきものがあるのを知っている。それが何かわかるかね。今君が言ったどうせという言葉だ。どうせという言葉は戦いもせず負けを認める最も醜い言葉だ。その言葉を口にしたときすでに戦いには負けておるのである。
私も校長先生の意見に賛成。どんな策があるにせよ頼るべき順序があると思うの。生活相談所に相談するのは多分一番最初にするべきことなんだと思う。それでダメなら2番目の手3番目の手を考えればいい。試しもしないうちから諦めるのは私は見殺しにするのと何も変わらないと思うから。
校長、もちろん通報するからには絶対聡子を助けてもらえるように言い含めてくれるんですよね。
無論だ。北条君はわしの可愛い教え子である。きっと助けてもらえるようわしにできる最善を尽くす。
児童相談所は迅速ですから、今から通報すればきっと今夜にはもう動いてくれるでしょう。それで聡子が救われればいいんだけど、もしもまた様子見なんてことになったら。
それがダメだったら次の手を考えようよ。私たちが諦めない限り絶対に聡子ちゃんを救えるんだから。
いつまでも綺麗事を言っててください。そうしてのんびりしてるうちに聡子は癒しようのない心の傷を負うんです。見殺しにしてるのはどっちなんですよ。
シオン、俺はさっき約束したからな。俺たちは絶対に聡子を救う。それもお前みたいに差し違えてでもなんて話じゃない。聡子が本当に幸せになれるような最高の形で救い出してみせる。見てろ、絶対だからな。前原圭一が絶対と言ったらそれは絶対なんだ。
Shion stared out the window without looking at Kechi's face.
園崎家の方でこの後のことは確認するよ。分かったらみんなに電話するよ。
それで無事解決すれば最高だからな。
もちろん楽観はできないね。様子見になる可能性が一番高いね。そうなったらどうする？
その時はくそ。
千恵先生、職員室に行きましょうぞ。早速電話をしましょう。
ええ、よく説明しないといけません。
They left the classroom. Kechi, Ren, and Mia got together and discussed their other options. Chion was looking down and crying. Rika was just vaguely looking at them as if staring at a boring TV drama. Nothing will change. Child Constellation Center will put her case on hold. I've seen it so many times in previous lives. I almost hope that they will take her into custody just this once. I have no more coins left to gamble on a hope like that. In a previous life, Kechi killed Sadako's uncle, but Chion was not there when that happened. When she is, I suppose she's the one who takes on that role. Their prophetic hopes will be crushed by tomorrow morning. The social worker will be at her house tonight, but Sadako will deny that she's being abused. Her uncle will assume that she was the one who called the service and will be abused her even more. She will come to school tomorrow because she doesn't want the Child Constellation Center to be suspicious of him. We will feel more and more hopeless when we see the dead work in Sadako's eyes. I've been living for more than 100 years, but I've never defeated this fate. The fate of her uncle's return. I was blessed with so much luck, and I thought I could defeat it this time. But in the end, it all came down to the same thing. It was a waste of energy to put in any effort. It was worthless, all worthless. The more I thought about this inescapable fate, the more I pitied these people for talking endlessly about how they were going to save Sadako. God. Oh, holy shit. Okay, yeah, that was the end of the chapter. Oh my god. What a living without hope. God, what a fucking closer. And I'm sorry I didn't say much, but I was just very engrossed in that. What do you do in this situation? What do you do? It's like I want to hold out hope. I want to, because holding out for hope, fighting against the world, fighting against fate itself, I believe is part of the human condition. To fight against this cool world we find ourselves in. Not to be sucked up in it, not to take the easy route of just murdering and regretting it later. As we've seen before, there always has to be a way. As humans, we've figured out ways to do so many different things, found impossible things that we could have never even dreamed of before. For that's part of the human condition, is to fight against this world, to keep going, to find solutions to these impossible problems. It's so interesting. I want to hold out hope, but at the same time I also have this dreadful feeling like Lika of the same thing's going to happen again, because we saw in chapter 3, we saw it, of how even though Kechi murdered Teppei, it changed nothing. Not a single goddamn thing. And it's like, it's a hard thing to balance, isn't it? To balance hope and despair. Danganronpa bullshit. But it's just, I'm very excited to see what the next chapter is. Like, I I can't describe the feelings I'm feeling right now. I can't even describe the feeling I felt throughout that entire chapter of a feeling, I don't know, both hopeful and yet helpless. You know, I don't know how to describe the feeling I had. But it was a unique type of feeling that I've never felt before while viewing a piece of media. I mean, I really can't put the emotion I felt during this chapter into words. I mean, yeah, I could fucking barely say anything during this damn chapter because I was so engaged, because I was so caught up in this emotion I can't even describe. It's this game, man. I don't know, this game, it brings about emotions within me I never thought it could be brought up within me. But anyway, if you guys enjoy this type of content, hit that subscribe button. If you liked it, hit the like button. When tell me something, put it down in the comments below. Check out the Discord server I out in, or my Twitter, check the description below. And yeah, this has been Voidlego. I'll see you guys next time. See ya!